navigating challenges, overcoming obstacles, and creating leadership impact. This webinar is brought to you by Zion Pearl Publishers. Today, it's going to be all about getting to know these inspiring women, their personal and professional journeys, the sparks that fueled their contribution to this book, and the unique stories they share in their chapters. You'll also get an exclusive sneak peek into what this powerful anthology is all about, and of course, a sense of the excitement building as we approach the upcoming launch. We are in for a thought-provoking and uplifting session, so get ready to be inspired and empowered. I want to let us know a little bit of what is going to happen today. So we will begin by having our panelists introduce themselves, telling us a little bit about themselves, and then I will ask a few questions and then open the floor for you, the audience, to also ask questions if you have any. So if you're already in joining us, you want to have your writing materials, make sure you have a notebook and a pen, because in such meetings, you might just be surprised how powerful, how resourceful, how empowering, how impacting, how inspirational you may be at the end of it. And you want to carry something with you to refer to just in remembrance of what you gathered from this meeting. So feel very welcome. And of course, we allow you to post the nuggets you're picking in the chat. If there's anything you have learned, anything you find interesting, you have a question, feel free to post it in the chat. We will later on look at them. And if anything needs attention, we shall do the needful. It's a very good evening and we are excited. Let us dive into it. So I talked about 4 authors joining us today. And this is a webinar we were so looking forward to, and we are very excited that it is happening. So we were expecting 4 panelists today. Unfortunately, one of us is not yet here. That is Audrey, but we will begin even with the 3 that are already present. So there is no problem with that. So I want to invite these incredible women, the co-authors of the book, How We Rise and Thrive, Navigating Challenges, Overcoming Obstacles, and Creating Leadership Impact. Please tell us about yourself and one thing that makes you unique. And because we are many, I'm going to go alphabetically. That has been my streak. When I have more than one person, I go alphabetically. So you know who was supposed to start, and because she has just joined, we will not let her start. We'll allow her to come later so that she can settle down. I would want to ask the second alphabetically, Diana, to go ahead. Please introduce yourself and tell us one thing that is unique about you.
So good evening, everyone. My name is Diana Merigoretti Achieng. I am the founder and faith-based youth mentor at Road to Mentorship. So this is a faith-based mentorship program that aims to empower young people with the knowledge and skills to navigate life's challenges and in turn live the quality of life that God intended for them. So I'm passionate about the things of mentorship, and I mentor these young people on every aspect of life, be it their personal development, spiritual and emotional well-being, their social relationship, e.g. their sexuality, career development, etc. And the foundation of all my teachings are biblical and scriptural, and based on Christian principles and values of love, obedience, faith, humility, suffering, forgiveness, and healing. And to date, I have mentored over 1,000 youths and children, work with several organizations, and also children's homes. So my mission, of course, is to save the future generation by helping them understand who they are, why they are here, what's their place in the world, and the will of God in their lives. So basically, that's who I am, and that's the kind of work that I do. Aside from that, I am a sister and I am a daughter.
Wow, sister and daughter, that was nice hearing from you. We are getting to know a little bit about you, and we are expecting to get to know you better as you get to speak to us today. So we go to our next alphabetically, and that should be Linet. Linet, please tell us about yourself. What kind of solutions are you offering? What are you doing out there? Karibu sana.
Thank you, Dottie. So I'm Linet Wanjiku, co-founder of Bensoft Systems Limited. It's a software development company. So over the years, we have progressively rolled out various solutions, all of them tailored to meet the unique needs of our clients. Some of our solutions are in health, job evaluation, property management, insurance, e-commerce. So we can actually tailor make any software you need. Yeah, I'm confident to say that. Other than work, I'm a mentor. I mentor entrepreneurs, especially those ones with startups. I'm also a judge with the Jack Ma Foundation, and I'm a mother, I'm a sister, yeah, I'm a wife. Yes, and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Linet. You're already wearing so many hats. That is very much appreciated. We get to our next online, and this is, of course, we will allow Audrey to just have her time. Then we have her go last. So Audrey, you know, you're going to be going first because alphabetically you come first. You're lucky. This first round, we have spared you. So Marion, tell us, who is Marion? What does Marion do? What kind of solutions is Marion availing outside here? You know, karibu sana Marion.
And good to be here, Dottie. I am Marion Kago. My background is in finance. My passion is building scalable and sustainable and profitable businesses. I thrive, and my passion is purpose, is to make businesses grow and scale profitably. My other passion is also farming. I love farming a lot, and when I'm not doing the finance stuff and all that, you'll find me farming. My other area of passion is governance, helping groups and organizations set up governance structures. I love also mentoring and coaching entrepreneurs, women, and the youth. Why the youth is so that they can discover themselves earlier on, as early as from high school, on how to navigate their growth, their career, if it's entrepreneurship or whatever area that they think they should invest in. Other than that, in my career work, I work currently on advising pre and post-investment firms, showing them pathways for due diligence, market strategies, business models. I'm also a co-founder of the company I founded recently. We are serving Kenyans in the diaspora, giving them a connection back home. We all know the challenges that that segment encounters when they are dealing with back home, and we are offering them solutions in that area. And I'm glad to be here. I'm also a mother of 2 teenagers. One is a young adult and a teenager. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Marion. You know, I've been really keen to listen to what is unique about us. I want to maybe say what is unique about Diana is that she's a sister, she's a daughter. What is unique about Linet is that she's a mother, she's a what? And what is unique about Marion is that she's the mother of young adults. So we are going to hold you hostage, Audrey, until you tell us one thing that is unique about you. So Audrey, tell us about yourself. Who is Audrey? What do you do? What kind of services do you offer? Please go ahead.
Thank you, Dottie. There's some background noise. I don't know where from. Okay, it's now okay. Good afternoon. It's still afternoon. Good afternoon, and sorry for joining a few minutes late. I'm from a funeral service, but glad to be here now. My name is Audrey Onsomo, or Audrey Kemuma, as you know me from the book. Where do I start? I am a village girl that was born in the city. Can you imagine you're born in Nairobi, and then after you're born, the rest of your life is in the village? That is me. I'm a governance, risk, and compliance specialist, offering various GRC solutions to clients. I currently work at the Nairobi Hospital, or the Kenya Hospital Association, as you may know it, as the head of risk, quality, and compliance. I'm also associated with many other organizations. I'm a vice chair of an international NGO named START Network. I'm a Rotarian. I'm also part of the Institute of Risk Management Secretariat within East Africa. I'm a golfer, and those are just a few things about me. And anything unique about me, or one thing unique about me that I can relate with the rest of the ladies, I'm also a mother. I'm a mother of 2 young children, 10 and 4. And so that keeps me busy when I'm not writing books or when I'm not at work. That keeps me going. And I'm really glad to be here today. I will get my tempo as we move on. Thank you very much for the opportunity to introduce myself.
Okay, thank you, Audrey, and you're very welcome. I just want to get to know how you ladies are feeling today, and I will let us go at our time of convenience. I will not pick on anyone. I want you to just speak to us and tell us, how are you feeling today, and what should we expect from today's conversation? Everyone will eventually talk. If I was someone, I would go first before they say what I want to say.
So let me go first. I'm excited about, of course, this webinar and the upcoming launch. And I'm also very much glad that I've been able to see, and today I'll interact with my fellow co-authors. And the expectation for this day is just a little bit of a sneak peek of what How We Rise and Thrive book is all about. And we hope to, or I hope to encourage the participants that have joined this webinar about through our stories and also through the engagement from the other authors.
Wow. Thank you, Diana. Who wants to go after Diana? We just want to get a feel of what you're feeling within you right now.
Okay, I could go. I'm very excited.
Yes.
It's the first time I've done a book, so I'm so happy. I'm so happy and excited. And I'm happy to also have met Audrey, online, Marion, Diana.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's what can I say? You know, sometimes you're so excited you don't even have the words. But it's a very nice opportunity. And in my chapter, I've written about resilience. Yeah, how you, I won't tell people everything because they need to buy the book, but yeah, it's a nice book. For those who have joined us, please, you'll get encouraged, you'll get inspired. Yeah, and you learn a lot from us. Yeah, so buy the book. So happy.
Thank you, Linet. Thank you, Linet. Your excitement is evident. Please keep it throughout the conversation.
Yeah.
And now we get to you, Audrey. What are you feeling right now? And what should we expect from this conversation?
Thanks, Dottie. I'm feeling very humbled, to say the least, because like Linet has mentioned, I've not written a book before. And so this is a new experience. It's a journey of self-discovery, even as I go through what I've written. You know, I was taking a look at the book earlier and taking a look at my chapter, and I felt as if I was rediscovering myself afresh. And I realized that, yes, there are these principles that I know that I've applied in the past that have worked for me, but maybe along the way I have faltered on applying them. And so it's not only a call to others to emulate the things that have worked for me and the things that have gotten me from that girl in the village or that girl who was born in Nairobi and brought up, but also a reminder to myself that I can actually still carry on with the same principles and they can take me to the next stage. And I believe going through the book, and anyone that will be privileged to read this book is going to learn a lot. And as we go through the discussions, I'm sure we'll be sharing snippets and just building the excitement to next Friday. And I'm looking forward to a very engaging discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Audrey. We are also looking forward to hearing more from you. And now, Marion, you'll have to tell us also how you're feeling right now and what we should expect in this conversation. Go ahead, Marion.
Yeah, thank you, Dottie, and sorry you may get some background noise. I hope it's not too much. I think for me, it's, I never, you want to tell your story. It's the first time you are coming public to share your journey, how you have worked. I think it's a very humbling experience, a learning experience. I think like Audrey, when I was writing and reflecting, I could see in hindsight things that I would have done better, things that, learnings, even as I was writing my chapter. It was a very exciting and reflective work to do. I've always hoped to write a book, but I never knew that it would be so intense and introspective. So I think for this webinar, my expectation also is to share with others and also hear from them their learnings, because I know there'll be a Q&A session. And also, I think I'm just feeling excited, happy, and also looking forward to more conversations and more excitement because of the 13 other women learning from their journeys. I'm learning as well as I interact with the other co-authors. Thank you.
Wow. I'm also very excited. And I'm not just excited about the book. I'm excited because this is the very first time in your lives that you're coming together on the same platform to talk about the same book that you have co-authored. Aren't we making history? This is the very first time. And to our audience, this is the very first time you're getting to hear these ladies on the same platform talking about the same thing, but of course, sharing their unique stories. So I'm also excited that this is my very first time to get to have a conversation with you. So the excitement is all over. Let us keep it moving. And our audience, we invite you to join into the excitement. This conversation is going to be interesting. And again, I want to say, karibuni sana. This webinar is brought to you by Zion Pearl Publishers. If you didn't know who is behind this, Zion Pearl Publishers, it is. Now, I have decided to go the way that I feel is working well. I have enjoyed just allowing everyone to come at a different point. So we are breaking the protocol, and so expect to be called upon anytime. I know Audrey is saying yes. At least I'm not going first every other time.
Yes, Diana could be the lucky one.
Yeah. So with that beautiful laugh from every one of you, Linet Kinyua, you happen to be the first one. What key life lesson shaped your leadership journey?
Okay, you can hear me, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. What I would say, when we began very small at Pensoft, first I'll say, before I became a co-founder of Pensoft, then I used to be in the hospitality industry. I used to work for Serena Hotel, and when I was there, we needed to change the software that we were using for reservation. And so I thought that was an interesting thing. And I said, oh, maybe I should have gone into software instead of the hotel thing. And from there now, while I was still there in 2009, we co-founded, with the founder, and then I'm the co-founder of Pensoft. So we've been around for 15 years now. And when we began very small. It was in a small container. That's how we began. And you know the way the container gets hotter, because you see people before they give you business, sometimes they want to see a physical location. They want to see where are you based. They want to see where you are. They don't want to give you if you're just a briefcase person. So they want to see. So we had a small container, and then besides us there was a big office. So you see the way the container gets very hot. And so we used to sit under a guava tree, yeah, the founder and I. And that's where we actually signed our first contract. And I would say, so when they came, the first contract we got from the clients that we got the first contract from thought that the big room, the big house that was there next to our small container was our office. And when they came and they said, nice place, Nice place. They didn't know that ours was a container. So we actually signed the first contract under a guava tree. And I would say this journey, it's not been easy, but resilience, the resilience and the consistency is what has kept us going over the years. Yeah. Yes, Dottie, I hope I've answered.
Thank you, Linet.
Yeah.
Okay. I was struggling to get you clearly. I don't know if it is my volume. I've tried to push it to the highest. Linet, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you very well.
Yes, now I can hear you well. So it was my end. The problem was on my end. My volume was very low. I now have it right. So thank you so much, Linet, for sharing what leadership journey has shaped your leadership experience as a person. So I want to ask you, Audrey, to kindly share with us a turning point in your career that inspired your growth.
All right, thank you, Dottie. A turning point in my career that inspired my book. I happen to know that one very well because I began my career in public accounting, or what most people would call auditing. I began my career with PwC and was in the audit department. So looking at external companies. So we would go audit, say, Barclays, the Aga Khan hospitals, UAP. And so I did that for the first 5 years of my life. I remember 3 years into that journey, I wanted to move to the risk assurance department. And I approached my mentor or coach then, and I told them, this is my interest. Can you talk to the bosses to allow me to move to this department? And I really thank that man because he didn't even try to do that. He told me, if you do that now, you're going to miss out on promotions because you're going to move into a new department where you'll be expected to be on a learning curve. And so you're not going to get that promotion. What I would advise you, stay on, finish your 5 years of associate and senior, and then once you get your promotion to manager, then you can consider moving to the risk assurance department. And so I stayed on. At the end of the 5 years, I got a secondment to the US. And during that secondment, that urge returned. Here I am still doing public accounting, but I remember this is not really what I want to do. And so midway through my secondment in the United States, I started thinking about what I really want to do. And I think I came back to risk management. And it's at that point that I enrolled for specialized trainings in risk management. And that was a turning point in my career because with those trainings that I invested in at that point, I was able to return to Kenya and return to the risk assurance department. And it's in that department that I really got to practice the kind of work that I love. Part of that work was delivering enterprise risk management and other what we call business resilience solutions. I remember training the board of Safaricom on enterprise risk management, training the board of Trade and Development Bank on anti-bribery and anti-corruption. And it's that experience that opened the next opportunity for me. So when I was ready to leave consulting, a person in the risk management circle told me there was an opportunity at the Nairobi hospital. And I can tell you, I was so sure I was not going to move to this job. But as they say, the rest is history. I came, I went through the interviews, and we somehow agreed on what I need to do. And I agreed to join the Nairobi hospital. And so that point in my career, going on secondment and sticking to what my heart truly wants was the turning point for me. Because through this opportunity, I've been able to do so much. There are many other opportunities that have been as a result of this opportunity. And that whole journey would not have begun had I not spent time soul searching and finding what I want to do going forward.
A powerful testimony there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Audrey. Diana, I know that you work a lot with young people and that is where your heart is, that is where your passion is. But I would like to know, when you set yourself to write this book or your chapter in the book, what category of audience were you having in mind?
Of course, the first people were my mentees because I work with them in this journey of life. And it's also from my own personal experience. I always say that growing up, I didn't have strong mentors who backed me in my journey, because my journey of career or even education had a lot of confusion, because there's one thing that I wanted to do. Then I ended up following a different trajectory from the kind of passion that I thought that in this career, this is the path that I'll walk in. And when I was in university, I wanted to become a lecturer. Hence, I pursued further studies in that. But after my studies, I had a really difficult time getting an academic job, whether it's a graduate assistant or anything. Then in 2022, I decided to now pursue teaching, and I volunteered for a children's home. It's called Havila Children's Home in Mwiki. During that period, while I was volunteering and teaching them, I hadn't started my mentorship program. I had that passion. It's just confirmed to me that my passion for teaching, that's what I've been called to do. And after that session, it's when now I founded the Road to Mentorship program. And I was just explaining through my chapters, I'm just explaining how I wanted to do something different, and God aligned me in another different career path and identified my purpose. So with the same thing, I want my mentees or anyone who gets the book while reading my chapter is just finding out the girl who thought this is the path that she wanted to follow. These are the things that she wanted to do or achieve, but God had different plans, and she decided to let go of her plans and follow the will of God, and now she's here.
Wow, the will of God.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, and thank you for just confirming that your first intended was your mentees. That is beautiful, and it is so natural that anyone would have an inclination toward the people that she works with. Thank you, Diana. And now to you, Marion. What were your concerns, or what concerns did you want to tackle in your book, or that pushed you to participate in this project?
Awesome. Yeah, when I was writing my chapter and reflecting on my journey, I think the greatest concern I had is when people, lose hope. For me, it has been a journey of just combining faith, courage, and values to be able to achieve what you want, and reflecting on my own journey, the various challenges, that I faced. I started my career in a very interesting place. I started in the matatu sector. That is where I started my career as an accountant. And I remember when joining that job, even my father abandoned me on the journey. They were like, no, if you are going to work for the matatu sector, that is Mongeki, that is not the right place for you. I'm not with you on that journey. And he happened to be knowing some politicians somewhere and had spoken to a politician to give me a job, and had tasked me to be calling this politician. No, I see an advert in the newspaper, send them. And this guy would just say yes and noted. So when my opportunity came to join this company, I am jumping in and see what happens. And it took a lot of courage because I had to go all the way in Naivasha. I didn't know anything. I was very, very young. So for me, what I was looking when I'm writing is to the young girl, to the young man outside there, even an entrepreneur, do you have the courage to take bold steps that are not conventional? But if you are convinced that this is a path you are going to take and excel in it, then what are you willing to put in it, and what are you willing to risk? And from there, I remember I joined the hotel sector. It has been quite a journey. And being in finance, you are faced with multiple challenges, especially the hotel sector. There are all these challenges of cash flow, money management. How do you handle other people? And I think the other learnings when I was writing this is, how do you deal with other people? How do you deal with yourself? How do you apply soft skills to be able to attain much? Because Dottie, you may have all the technical skills, you may have all the training, but if you don't have these soft skills to influence other people, you really struggle and be unhappy. The motto in my house is that happiness is free. You cannot buy happiness anywhere. You carry your own happiness. Therefore, you have to harness yourself and how you develop your values, how you work, values, faith, your courage to be able to deal with other people and deal with different situations. Yeah, so when I was writing the book, I could see my journey all along, definitely mistakes I learned from when dealing with other people and what made me a better person today. I'm still getting, it's work in progress, never ends.
It's always a work in progress. Thank you for sharing. And you see, it is through the experiences that now you're better placed to even share with the people coming after you, impacting them and making a change in their lives. Thank you so much, Marion Kago. Now, I have a question that I want all of you to answer, and I will let everyone move in when they feel they're ready to. But if you take a little time longer, then I'm going to pick on you one by one. So I want you to let us know, why should anyone be concerned about rising and thriving? Looking at the title of your book, How We Rise and Thrive. But why should anyone be concerned about rising and thriving?
Maybe I can go first.
Yes, Audrey, please go ahead.
Thank you, Dottie. Why should anyone be concerned about rising and thriving? I believe we were all created with a God-given purpose, and you cannot go through life just being ordinary. You should not allow yourself to go through life just being ordinary. You should be able to thrive, because the much time we are given by God, it's God's hidden secret. We all don't know when that time will come to an end. So for the time that God has given you, you have to ask yourself, by the time you get to the end of your journey, are you going to be proud of yourself? If you're to look back at that journey, did you actually thrive? Did you actually enjoy that time? And I believe that's why it's important for everybody to rise and thrive. Really, it's about living out your purpose and finding out what that purpose is, and finding ways to play a role in fulfilling it. I like Diana's story, and I've just been listening to what she's saying. And even in the mentorship journey, she talks about how God redirected what she wanted to do. And that's really important. And I believe that thriving is not about being on the world stage, really, and being the most successful or the person that everybody tends to know about. It's not about necessarily being the Mark Zuckerbergs or the Jeff Bezos. It's about, in your small space, in what you do, are you really happy? Are you really fulfilling your God-given purpose? And I believe that's why it's important for everyone to do that. If you're a server in a cafeteria, if that's what you do, are you thriving while doing that? And that's really important for everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Audrey. That is well said. I want to ask who wants to go next to answer that question. Why should anyone be concerned about rising and thriving?
All right, I'll go next. It's important for everyone to be concerned about rising and thriving, because I believe there's no challenge on this earth that is unique to a particular person. Every person goes through their ups and downs, just as the same way I was confused about my career, about the trajectory of my life. I believe someone also, a person that is here, or even through the other author's story, they thought that this is the career that they wanted. They found themselves desiring a different career, or even in a different path. So as much as you are facing challenge within your space where you are right now, the true purpose and the will of God that He has for your life, it will eventually plan out. You might not understand why you are at the place you are right now, but for me, I believe all things are, of course, working together for our good. And at the end, it will eventually make sense. So despite the challenges that you're going through, or even the confusion that someone is at this moment, it will eventually make sense as long as you are determined not to wallow in suffering or even self-pity, but to move above those challenges and obstacles. You'll eventually get to thrive.
You'll eventually get to thrive. It takes perseverance and patience, but eventually there's always a win in the end. Thank you, Diana. We are left with Marion and Linet. And there, Marion is ready to go.
Yeah, I think
So Marion, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think for me, the verse that really reflects to me in the Bible is that the world is groaning, waiting for the revelations of sons of God. So when you are not thriving, there is somebody else not achieving what they are supposed to do because you have not listened to your praise of calling. And as Audrey said, it's all about purpose. It's all about impact. If you look, we are the ones who solve the challenges we are seeing in the world today. We are the ones, when you are thriving, it means that you have perceived challenges that are there, and you have come up with opportunities, and you are bringing those opportunities to the table. Then there is also the joy, just thriving. You feel happy. You will not go, into depression. You are able to just, you are happy. You are a happier person. You are more fulfilled human being when you are thriving than when you are not thriving. And again, you are able to just make an impact, not only to yourself, to your family, but more so even to others. So I think for me, every time I'm leaving the house, every time I'm doing something, I normally ask God, what is your agenda what agenda do you have on the table, and how can I meet that agenda? So when you are thriving, you'll be able to meet those agendas and be able to just be a happier person and contribute to the economics of many other people. Even a word of advice, because you can thrive as a teacher, as Diana put it. When you are thriving as a teacher, you are not doing it. You can be a teacher and you are doing it just because it's another course. You can be a finance person, and the reason why you are in finance is just to pay your bills at the end of the day. But if you are a thriving finance person, you ensure that many other people can be employed and households can be sustained because you are managing finances so well that the company is growing. So it's just checking what is the area of your career, how do you thrive, how do you go to the next level? And I can assure you, as Audrey was saying, if you thrive at waiting on tables, there's a person seeing you thriving and excelling there who wants you to take to the next level of supervision. And reflecting, I think, and I have grown because I have thrived at doing very lowly paid jobs. And then that is how now you proceed to thrive even at higher opportunities. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you, Linet, for that
I could go next.
powerful response to that question.
I'm just going to add on to, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Just a minute.
You can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. So I'm just going to add on to what Marion, Audrey, and Diana said. I believe what I normally say is, what will people remember about you when you're not there? Yeah. What impact did you make? Yeah. So I believe in thriving in your own space. Yeah. And in whatever you do, be it school. You see, as entrepreneurs, someone like me, I'm still doing my classes and thrive in those classes. Yeah. Stand out in those classes. I believe in doing everything that God has given you to do. You do it the best of your knowledge. Yeah, that's what I believe. And and even as you rise, you're going to inspire other people. Yeah, they would want to be visible out there, even as you're rising, so that you can also encourage other people to be better than you, or to just be like you. Yeah, so that's what I believe. I believe in when it comes to thriving. It's very important.
Thank you, Linet. All your beliefs about the reason why it is important to talk about rising and thriving seems to be on the same page. You seem to be agreeing on the same thing, and that is very interesting. You know, it is possible to have a collection of people, you know, working on the same thing, but with very different opinions. What I'm getting is that you people are agreeing on why it is necessary to talk about rising and thriving. Thank you so much. So this webinar is brought to us by Zion Pearl Publishers. As we proceed to our next phase of this conversation, I want to let our audience know that we have a launch coming up on the 13th of December at the Trademark Hotel. And for that, we have a registration link available for you to fill out if you are interested in being part of the excitement on that day. We shall share it in the chat. Feel free to fill it out. There are more details to guide you in there, and then you can be part of us on that day. Very soon, we are also going to have the physical copies of this book, How We Rise and Thrive, available. You want to make an order, there's an order form that will be availed to you. Please fill it out. And when the books are ready, we'll make sure that we get it delivered to you. We are also very open to receive questions, concerns from you people. You have anything you want to know from us, you have a question, you need any clarity, our contacts will also be shared in the chat. How about you subscribing to our YouTube channel? We have a link that can guide you into doing that. Actually, I request that everyone in attendance of this meeting today, if you have not yet subscribed to our YouTube channel, this is a good opportunity for you to do so. There will be a link that will be shared on the same as well. Thank you, our listeners, for joining in. As we proceed, we are entering into a very interesting session. And I know you're wondering what makes it interesting. We are here to hear the stories of this lady. They have worked together with other incredible women to write this book, How We Rise and Thrive, Navigating Challenges, Overcoming Obstacles, and Creating Leadership Impact. Now, Audrey, you happen to be number one in what I want to ask. In your chapter, Audrey, you emphasize the necessity of women leaders sponsoring other women as they climb corporate ladder. You make a powerful point. Being noticed is one thing. Having someone who can confidently vouch for you is another. Could you elaborate on this idea? How can women leaders actively create opportunities and advocate for the growth of other women in their workplaces? If you need me to repeat it, I will.
Thank you. I think I got it. And the reference to being noticed and having somebody to vouch for you, and being a woman that can vouch for others, or having women that can vouch for you. And you know, we're here today to talk about rising women, really. All the authors happen to be women. So we are looking at, part of what we are looking at is the power of women, or women power. I would say that growth, and if you look at my chapter, and those are the nuances I'm learning between all our chapters. My chapter is looking at my growth in the corporate space. For somebody else, it might be in the entrepreneurship space. For somebody else, it might be in their mentorship space. So I sort of focused on my corporate journey, and if you may allow me, I may contextualize it as such. Being noticed, like I say, is one thing, but having somebody vouch for you is a different thing. That said, that is important because we live in a world, and if you look at the country we live, you have to contextualize things in various environments. And if you look at the Kenyan market specifically, and even more so extending to the East African market, we have many graduates. If you look at the number of graduates we have with master's degree that are jobless, is immense. it will actually overwhelm you. It actually scares you as a parent. Anyone that is a parent that knows those statistics is scared, because then you keep wondering, what job market are our children going to join in the future? And that's why it's important to have somebody that can say, I know Dottie, I know Diana, I know Marion, and I know Marion can do a good job. It is so important because when looking at the limited opportunities versus the competition that you're going to have, you can be rest assured today, if you applied for any job, you're going to be up against so many other people who are equally competent, equally qualified. And so what is going to be the differentiator between you and the next person, especially for women who are looking to move into leadership space? It's different when you're just starting your career and you're probably being the one mentored, you're an intern or you're first year employed. But when you're a woman moving into the leadership space, it's important to have somebody who can strongly speak to your experience and strongly speak to your values. And it is important that even as we are in this mentorship journey, it is important that you start, if you look back at your life and you think about giving back, have a few ladies that you can mentor. I think it's either Diana or Marion that mentioned she didn't have opportunities. She didn't have anyone to mentor her or to guide her on the way she should go. Now, for some of us, we were privileged that was different. For me, I have elder sisters who are doing well in their different spaces. So I had mentorship from the family. I also, and examples, when you see others doing well, when you see your sister doing well, she's in high school, you're in primary, or she's already in the work environment and you're just starting out college, there was a right example set for me. But beyond that, I went to a university where we had associations like finance students associations, accounting student associations. We even had a mentorship program where we could have ladies who are already doing well in the corporate come and tell you, what will it take? So I would say it's really important as ladies, think about those ladies in your circle. For me, where I work now, I have interns that come. I have some that come to the interview so clueless. And I know sometimes my team is like, this person doesn't seem like they know what they're doing. But I always say it's an internship. There's only so much you can lose. They'll be here for 3 months. If they don't have the right attitude, they can always leave. But there are some we've taken in those 3 months, and you realize the challenge that they had is not that they are not smart. They just never had anybody to hold their hand and to tell them the critical things that you need to do as a person and especially as a lady to progress. And so I would urge everybody to, looking forward, looking backward. Backward is in the sense of, who are the younger ladies in my life that I can assist? It might even be that nanny in your house. Yes, she might never get to an office, but there are things she can learn from you that can help her. It might be a saving culture. You might notice that when she goes off on Sunday, she's spending everything that you've paid her. Have you told her about money market? Have you told her about bonds that you can buy for as little as 1,000? What are you instilling into her, and what example are you setting? And then looking forward, there are always people ahead of us in the curve, and that's how just the world is created. Who are your mentors who are ahead of you in terms of mileage, in terms of the same space? Some might not be in the same space, but there are women who are doing well. For example, our key speaker on the day is Ms. Catherine Musakali. There's something we can all learn from her. We are not yet at the point she is. We know she's a very senior lady in the leadership space. And so how do you reach out to those networks to assist you? And you have to be quite very intentional to actually realize value from those networks. So for me, I've made that a specific intention. When you see a lady that is doing better than you, it might be a board member where you work, walk up to her until I admire you. I want to learn a few things. And you will always come to realize that there's value in that, because the next time an opportunity shows up, even 2 years later, they'll say, oh, I know Audrey, she could assist you with that. And that's how you create that network. But you have to be intentional about it. You have to look forward and you have to look backward, Dottie. I hope I've not taken too much time. Thank you.
You could even speak more. Time is not a problem. We have time. So I loved it when you say that it's a way of giving back, just making sure that the people coming after you are also pulled up. In some of the conversations we have had in the past, there was a say that was very common, that once you get to the top, you know, make sure you drop down the escalator so that the people below can climb and climb it easier than you did to where you are. So thank you so much for that. Very much appreciated. Powerful, powerful statement there. I want you, Diana, to be the one next to answer this question. I love the smile you give me when I call your name. Thank you. So Diana, reflecting on Romans 8 and verse 28, as highlighted in your chapter, and considering the experiences that have shaped you into the person you are today, what advice would you offer to a young career woman who is struggling to believe that consistent effort, faith in God, and perseverance will lead to the growth and success she desires?
All right. The verse that you've just quoted, I think I can just say what it is. It says, all things work together for good for those who love God and those who are called according to his purpose. Yes, it's true that everything in my life, it has worked for my good. The confusion, the delays, the rejection I experienced, the challenges that I went through in my career, all of that planned out for my good. In that, I mentioned that I wanted to become a lecturer and I didn't get that job. And I was extremely frustrated, not only to myself, but also to God. I was wondering, I've worked hard so much in my academics. I went on, I did my master's and expected by the end of that, everything now would line up, getting my career in academics, the lecturing job would be easier. Lo and behold, after my studies, I didn't get the job, of course, and I ended up in marketing and sales, and it was not something that I was passionate about, but eventually, and until around 2023, that's when now my purpose was revealed to me. And when I walked into my purpose, I now discovered everything that I went through. It was just building me to the person that God intended for me to become from 2022 until this point. Audrey mentioned that I didn't have strong mentors while growing up. In fact, I'm a firstborn, so every person is looking at me. I don't have any person to look at. That's one of the reasons. And I also, of course, didn't like the leadership roles, because in my chapter I also talk about how a firstborn is and the role and responsibility that are expected from firstborns. All those journey, all those things I went through. So for me, I also just want to motivate someone who is still maybe in a state of confusion, wondering what their purpose is, or even they're hating the job that they are right now. Of course, if you hate it, if you don't have a passion for it, you're not supposed to be there. That's what I believe. That's not an area where you've called, because when I started doing the youth mentorship, I felt that that fulfillment, especially when right now my mentees come to me and tell me, oh, we didn't know these things. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for being a good role model. I'm feeling that purpose and a sense of fulfillment within me. And truly, I can say everything has planned out for my good. Of course, number one, because I love God. And number two, I am called according to his purpose. Those are the two conditions of that scripture.
Wow, interesting. That is a scripture that I also love so much. In all this, we know that everything works for good for those who love the Lord and are called according to his purposes. What is coming out there is that if we align ourselves, or what I'm getting from what you've just said, if we align ourselves with the purposes of God, then our victory is guaranteed. Both our achievements and obstacles will work for our good.
Yes.
Thank you, Diana. Thank you so much. Now, Linet, are you ready? There's something that caught my attention, and this is your parting shot. I loved it. You say that women should embrace their unique perspectives, as they are our greatest asset in the tech world. We should not fear breaking barriers and challenging the status quo. From your experiences and perhaps research, what would you say is the prevailing situation for the career woman in today's society? What challenges do they face? And how can they leverage their strengths to thrive despite the hurdles? I hope Linet is there. Okay, you change
Yes,
positions. Yes.
Yeah, I moved from the laptop to my phone. The laptop was misbehaving.
Okay, okay.
But you can hear me. Yeah.
Yes, very clear.
Yes. So yes, that's a good question. And why I said that is because, like, in my industry, I'm in tech. You find very few women are in tech because of the mentality that it's hard. How will I navigate? Even in schools, you'll find that most ladies don't take ICT as a course. It's like a male-dominated field. But yeah, I'm not a techie, but I'm here because my strength is in what? Sales and marketing. That's why it is. So I really enjoy what I do. I really do. And it doesn't mean that it doesn't come with challenges. There are challenges. And one of the challenges that we mostly have as women in leadership is imposter syndrome. Yeah. You feel like you're not, you have self-doubt about you. You have self-doubt and you think like you're not good enough. So that is one of the challenge. And for you to eliminate that from you is to be knowledgeable, have the education, be knowledgeable, shout about your successes. Yeah. If you win something, talk about it. There's nothing small. Yeah. Just talk about it. That one will give you the confidence to continue. Yeah, so that's the major issue that we have as women, the imposter syndrome. And when it comes to entrepreneurship, it's not easy. It's hard. Sometimes you don't even sleep thinking where salaries will come from. Yeah, but I believe every challenge, it's an opportunity for you to grow. It doesn't mean that you give up, and it doesn't mean that you don't know where the salaries are coming from because you didn't know how to plan yourself financially. No, these are just challenges that come, but the worst thing is to give up. Yeah, the worst thing is to give up. Just what I would say is just keep pushing, just be resilient. Yeah, don't give up. And that's the only way you can succeed. Because at the end of the day, poverty is the enemy. We all want to make it. Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I can say. There's more about challenges on the on my chapter. Yeah, so you can actually go and just have a look. Right now, we are just giving you tips, not telling you the whole thing. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, you're right. We are just touching the surface. We are not giving the real thing. The book is available. The launch is upcoming. If you want more of that, just to join us for the launch and make sure you get a copy of the book for yourself. You know, in our immediate last launch, I remember one of the authors said that one of the reasons she is not afraid of taking risks is because she's afraid of poverty. So for that reason, just in line with what you have said, it is poverty we are all fighting. So for her, because she doesn't want to be poor, she has no option but to face risks. So she's not afraid of risks. Thank you so much, Linet. And Marion, now we are on your case. Marion, you've spoken about faith. You've spoken about values and courage as essential pillars for rising and thriving. However, in today's society, job acquisition and promotion often seem to hinge on connections, who you know, or an expectation of reciprocity, sometimes implied as what can you offer in return? And sometimes what can you offer in return can be in interesting ways, you know. What can you offer in return? How can we shift this narrative and foster a culture where merit, integrity, and genuine capability take center stage?
I think, yeah, as Audrey said, the book even being centered on women, As a woman, I've suffered my own share of being heavily challenged on values in the workplace. I know I've written it in the book, where somebody outright tells you, I'm not giving you this job because of A, B, C, and D, but God intervenes and you get the job. And this person decides they'll make your life a living hell when you are at this job. So what do you do about it? And why I titled my book, it's Faith, Values, and Courage. It's because if you don't have, I normally say it's very important for you as an individual to have a yellow line. You know, that yellow line on the road, that this line, I can't close it. So what are values that drive you as an individual? Because you can only rise as far with, you know, favors. You know, it's different between the networking mentorship, what Audrey was speaking of, and favors where you are giving something to get a promotion or to get a job. So it's good for a person to be centered. What are the values that drive you? So for example, myself, I say integrity is my reputation. If anything is gonna touch on my integrity, I have faith that if I let that opportunity go, my God will give me another opportunity. I don't have to stick somewhere where I'm being used, misused, and doing something that is outrightly wrong just because for me to have money in the bank. I know God is able to give me other opportunities. I know that even the other values of accountability can help. And what role do we women play to bring this safe space in the workplace? I think we need to be there to stand, to speak up. I have seen women in opportunities to speak up and we don't, we shy away. I don't know whether it's the imposter syndrome Linet was speaking about, but it's very, very important. When you are given a seat on the table, speak, but speak it with, you know, you are not shouting, you are not throwing dramas and whatever, but speak it, air it out. When you are given a seat on the table as a woman, it is us to change the current workplace. It is us to bring men allies to our table. You can even note something that is not going on. Look at the influencers who are there in the workplace. Look at the person who has the ear. You know, just look for a way to voice it and speak it out. But steady growth, rising and thriving can only be based on values. I have been places where you are tested, you are tempted, and you are thrown. I have, you know, and I have quit. I have gone out and I've said, you know, God, you gave me this opportunity. I know you can give me another one. And he has done it. So it is good to stand and to know this is what I stand by. This is what I cannot do. This is where the far it can reach. I remember even in one place where I was, and I was to come to the auditor's office in Nairobi. I was coming from Naivasha, coming to the auditor's office, and I could tell here things are not going well. I was even paying a guy, I was telling him, this 200, you are not to leave me in this office with this guy. You are going to stay here, you'll leave after I leave. So that you are protecting your reputation, your integrity, your values. And so that when somebody is asking about, do you know somebody who can do ABCD? They'll say, yes, I know so-and-so. I know Diana. I know Diana is a person of values, accountability, and integrity. But I think my call for women in the workplace, when you are given the seat at the table, speak up, don't shy away, don't be silent when things are going wrong. Just give the feedback, the ability to speak up, give feedback, because you are put in that place to bring change. You can see, I have been studying the Bible of late, and I was surprised to see there were people who are punished by God for not, because they never spoke out. They even never cried out. They didn't do the wrong thing, but they never stood and said, this is the wrong thing. So it's us to change. It's us to change the narrative. It's us to speak out and to mentor younger girls in the workplace. Mentor them, watch over the other person and just mentor them, encourage them, and give them hope and faith. I think without faith, you have to have faith to rise up. You really have to have that faith to be able to grow and rise. Yeah, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, you did. So elaborately. Thank you for that. I think what I'm picking from what you have just said is that sometimes it is not just doing the wrong thing that is wrong. Sometimes it's about failing to speak up against the wrong things that is wrong. So you've advised us as ladies, when we get a seat at the table, we should speak up. Very powerful. Thank you for that. So to our highly esteemed audience, I can see we still have you here. The chat is open for you to post some of the nuggets, the insights you're learning, to post a question, either directly to any of these co-authors, or a general question that any one of them can answer. Make sure you ask them something. You can maybe just comment them, congratulate them, but just make sure if you're part of this meeting, let us know that you are part of it by just posting something in the chat. It will be good for them to read those congratulations, and it will also be very encouraging for them to answer some of the questions that we have. We have the launch of this book coming up on the 13th of December at the Trademark Hotel, and we would like to have your presence. If you're interested in being part of this glorious event, we have a registration form available in the chat. Key in your details. There are more information to guide you into what is expected of you on the chat. If you just want a copy of the book, probably your schedule will not permit you to join us. We also have a pre-order form available also in the chat. You can make an order. As soon as the physical copies are ready, we shall have yours delivered to you. And should you be having any questions, what is this project about? Who are these people? If you didn't get to really understand who they are, we are very open to attending to your questions and concerns. Please feel free to reach out to us. Our contacts are available in the chat. And you know what? We also request you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. And we have made it easy. We have availed a link that will help you to do that with a lot of ease. So subscribe, add to our subscription, and we will be grateful for that. Now, back to my panelists. I know the launch is coming, and I know we are excited. I remember just immediately after our intros, we were talking about how we are feeling today, and everybody was all smiles, and everybody was saying, I'm excited, in the past, I've had people say, I have a double feeling about this. I'm not believing that I did it, but at the same time, I'm excited that I did it, and things like that. Now, the launch is coming up. What excites you most about this upcoming launch? You have told us about some of the things you have talked about in the book. You have told us about yourself. What about the upcoming launch? What excites you about it? And randomly, Diana, you go first. Unmute, please.
Marion was about to speak.
Okay, so you want Marion to go first?
Marion, are you okay with going first?
You can go, I go after you. No problem.
All right, okay.
Yeah, she's okay.
Of course, I'm really excited about the upcoming launch. In fact, meeting all the 14 authors, engaging and interacting. I'm looking forward to hear every author speak about their stories and their journeys, and as well as network with every person's guests, because I know we'll have a lot of guests attending the event. And basically, I think that's it. Getting to know each other very well, interacting, making new friends, making new business partners, etc.
Thank you, Diana. I can see you're very excited.
Yeah.
There will never be a statement about the upcoming launch without the networking. Always a very good opportunity for people to network. Thank you so much, Diana. And Marion, you promised to go second. What excites you most about the upcoming launch?
Yeah, I think what is exciting me is meeting all these amazing women, because you never stop learning, you never stop growing. Every day is an opportunity to unlearn and learn something new. And even the keynote speakers, I thank you, Zion Pearl, for getting us a very powerful keynote speaker. So I'm just excited on all the learnings that I'm going to do. I'm also excited because of networking. I learn new friends, and as it was said earlier, that it's through these networks that you get other opportunities that, you know, it's a fun event where we'll network, where we learn, where we learn, and where we will grow. I'm so excited. Looking at all the others, looking at their bios. I've not stopped looking at their bios on LinkedIn and seeing all the riches that they will be bringing to the room. And then the keynote speaker. Yeah, that's what and I like having a good day and just networking and meeting other people and growing my network.
Wow. By the way, we have a very powerful, high-profile keynote speaker. If you're not coming for anything, come listen to her and then get a copy of the book. You will not regret that you came. Thank you so much, Marion Kago, for even mentioning about the keynote speaker. It's going to be a really interesting time for everyone, both the authors and, of course, the attendees. Linet, do you want to go next?
Yes. Now, Diana and Marion, it's like they've summarized it all, but I love meeting new people. And I believe you can learn something from everyone. And these networks bring about collaboration. Yeah. So I'm so excited about this launch. I'm excited about meeting new people and my co-authors. And we never know, something big could just come out of this, a big collaboration somewhere. And I know now they know I'm in software. So when they hear someone owns something software, they say Linet. So that's the beauty with networking. Yeah, that's the beauty of this networking. And then also the fact that our stories will also be out there. It's also exciting. And the signing of the books, of course. Yeah. Thank you.
Of course, the signing of the book. You know, Linet, when you're speaking, you're just in agreement with what Audrey said, that as we climb up the ladder, we should vouch for the people coming after us. When you mentioned that if somebody asks about someone in the tech, then they will automatically think of Linet Kemuma. Thank you so much. Audrey, what do you expect about the upcoming launch?
I'm quite excited about the upcoming launch. And for me, this will be a moment of becoming, you know? It's reflecting back to that girl who at some point was in the bottom 10. You know, when we were going to school, we were ranked number 1 to number last, you know? Luckily for our children, they don't do that these days. But I remember that ranking. And I remember that ranking making me feel like I belong at a certain place. And I remember the rebellion at some point and making up my mind that I don't belong in this place. I belong up there in the top 10. I don't belong in the bottom 10. And making that a reality. So for me, this is a moment of becoming that I've walked that journey for the many years. And here I am as an author at a launch of a book I've co-authored with other ladies. That's really a moment of becoming. That's what I can describe it. And I'm looking to inspiring other ladies that will be in the room, that the only difference between themselves and myself and the other co-authors should only be a time difference. It is not about whether you can do it. It is not about whether you can be that Marion or that Linet. You can actually be that person. If you put in the work, it's only a matter of time. The only difference between me and you is time. And so I'm excited about all the things my co-authors have talked about. I'm excited about meeting other people, listening to our keynote speaker. I'm excited about just sharing my journey. Because, you know, when you tell people I've written a book, the reactions I've gotten is like, oh, wow, like, how did you do it? Where do you find the time? And I think that imposter syndrome always kicks in where I say, it was easy. Like, I just wrote a chapter. And I know what I've been telling people is like, I didn't write the whole book. I wrote a chapter. But even that, they tell me that's still a big thing. And so I want to believe it's a big milestone. And I'm really grateful that I'm going to have that platform at Trademark to just share that journey and share what I've learned from the journey.
Thank you, Audrey. You know, the excitement is so evident. You cannot hide it. Let us carry it through to the launch day. You know, now this is what we are expecting, or you are expecting as authors. On the other side, we have the attendees of the day, our guests of the day. I want each one of us to just promise them one thing. As they come to celebrate with you, just give them a promise, just one promise, so they can come and experience something. And so we will go on reverse. So Audrey, on you again. Promise your audience something.
I promise them inspiration. Inspiration to actually know you can do anything you set your mind to. Yeah.
And by the way, I just forgot to say, I like the statement you have made that the difference between one woman and another is nothing but time.
Yes. And you know where that came from? I remember my sister saying that. My sister and I, when she had just started working and I was in college and she was housing me, she lived in a servant quarter in a very nice estate. So it's a rich estate, but we were not living in one of the nice houses. We were living in a servant quarter. And the owner of the house happened to be a landlady. She was a very senior executive at Shell. And I remember we used to look at her and wonder, like, here we are sharing this one room. We have one bathroom. My sister has just started her job. Like, she's 2 years into her job. I mean, just straight out of high school and going to college. And we used to look at that lady and the cars she drives and the kind of life she leads. You know, from the servant quarter, you can sort of have a glimpse into the main house. And my sister always said it's only a matter of time. So I've always carried that with me, that anyone you see at the top, when you see Catherine Musakali, tell yourself it's only a matter of time. If I do the right things, I will be the next Catherine Musakali. So I hope everybody will carry that message. They might not be looking up to Catherine Musakali. They might be looking up to Audrey, up to Linet. They can say, I'm the next Audrey. I'm going to be the next author. And then once you finish being the Audrey, you can be the Musakali. And once you finish being the Musakali, you can be somebody else. So that's where that statement comes from.
Powerful, powerful. Thank you for that statement. I pick it up and I want to run with it. Linet Kinyua, promise the attendees of the launch something.
They are going to leave the place motivated.
Wow.
Through our stories. And you know, sometimes we want to make it very quickly in life. It's baby steps. Yeah, that's what I normally say. You cannot just start now and you're already up there. You start down, you climb up slowly. And that's the best way of doing things, actually. Yeah, so they're going to leave
Gen
them
Zs don't know that,
motivated.
Linet.
They don't know. They want to just make it wow. Yeah. And that's why most of them hope from job to job. Because you're thinking, oh, this salary is a bit more, 10,000. Let me go to this one. Let me move. Yeah, but it's baby steps, really. Otherwise, you'll keep on moving. Yeah, no direction. Yeah.
Thank you, Linet. So we come expectant of some serious motivation. We come to that launch, we don't leave the same way we came in. We come out fiery and ready to do great exploits. Thank you, Linet. Marion, promise the audience of the launch something.
Think you leave that place with a lot of clarity, because all these authors, the keynote speaker will be speaking of challenges they have overcome, their learnings, their experiences. It's not a must you go through what we have gone through. We are going to give you a cheat sheet of how to avoid some of those challenges and drive at a faster rate, an acceleration, that is. So for me, I see the audience living with a lot of clarity on how they can be able to accelerate and thrive in every area and aspect of their lives.
Thank you, Marion. So the attendees will get clarity on how they can accelerate and thrive. That is going to be a very good takeaway. Now, before we go to our next phase, which is we're almost coming to the end of this discussion, it will be unfair not to get to read some of the comments that your listeners have put in the chat. And I'm going to request my colleague Emma, who is also on the call, to just help us read those comments. If there's any questions, we can quickly attend to them before we draw the curtains of this conversation. So Emma, please go ahead and read the comments.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you for this opportunity, Lottie. I hope I'm audible enough for everyone to hear me.
Yes, you are.
Thank you. So the first comment comes from Evelyn Mugo. She says that the great introduction from each of these ladies, so inspiring. That was when the authors were introducing themselves and she found it to be inspiring. I found it to be inspiring too. There is also another comment from Evelyn Mugo again. She says that she gets great insights from the authors, and that's very true. Another one is she says again, another reason to believe that women can excel despite all the challenges, learning a lot, and this conversation is timely for me. That's for her. And indeed, the conversation is so inspiring and we're learning a lot. So much. And it ends with a question and a comment from me. It feels weird. I'm the one who wrote it and I'm reading it again. A very impactful discussion, ladies. I love the excitement that is evident on your faces. You're so excited. You can't hide it at all. It's we are looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it. And you're all bundles of joy, especially Linet. Linet was such a joyful person. A quick question. So passion, purpose, and money. These are very important things, and I've heard you talking about passion and purpose. And so my question is, so what should someone go for first? Should someone choose purpose or purpose, passion over money, or money then pursue purpose and passion later? Because enyewe hapa pesa nayo ni muhimu. I heard you commenting that we are fighting poverty. So what's the trajectory that someone should take when it comes to this kind of a decision? All your views are welcomed.
Thank you very much, Emma, for reading those comments and of course this question. So we bring it to you, our panelist. Who wants to attend to that question? Passion, purpose, money. Which of them should come first? And probably you can tell us why.
Can I go first?
Yes, Audrey,
Because
you
I've
may.
written about this in my book, actually. Good question. I think it's on my number what principle in the book. It's one of the principles I've written about in the book. I'm trying to remember. I can't remember which specific one, but it's one of those. Anyway, so this is what I would say. First of all, when you look at passion and purpose, purpose will drive your passion. So they are sort of one and the same thing. Money is a different thing. I would say you need to pursue purpose, because once you pursue purpose, the money will eventually come. You can take that to the bank. Because by pursuing purpose, you're going to be doing something you truly enjoy. And if the output of what you're to do is good, you must have purpose. If you wake up every morning and go to a job that you don't have purpose, it doesn't matter whether you think that money is a lot. You might think it's a lot in the moment, but sooner or later you'll realize it's not enough. Money will never be enough. And that's what you need to know. So you might say, okay, so these people gave me a job in, for example, sales. I don't like sales, but they paid me more than my previous job. But in your previous job, you were actually doing a job that you love. You would have been better off in your previous job earning 20,000 less or 30,000 less, but doing what you love. Because when you do what you love and you do it well, the promotions will come, new opportunities. The universe will automatically open new opportunities. When you're doing something and you're doing it well, those opportunities come looking for you. And so purpose becomes so vital, especially when you're starting out your career. I remember when I started out, we were not making much. In fact, by the time you have your net salary and you pay your bills, of course, audit firms, the kind of audit firm I worked for is one of the organizations that are considered to be paying well. But even for a new joiner in that institution, I can tell you, you don't make much. There are other institutions that could pay more. But staying there and knowing you're building something, that doesn't make you slow or not wise. That doesn't make others wiser than you, because you know, once I build this for these 5 years, one day I'm going to be able to get an opportunity where I can dictate what you're going to pay me for that, to do that job or to fulfill that opportunity. So I would always say, put purpose first. Money will eventually come from purpose. If you have all the money and you don't have purpose, the money will not grow. Either the money will not grow or it will grow in the wrong ways. Of course, if you're stealing, the money might grow, but it's not coming from the right fundamental principles. Or somehow money will never be enough. You might even we have politicians who have a lot of money, 2 million plus. Some of them, when they declare their net worth and we listen in parliament, you're thinking, where do you get that kind of money? But if they don't have purpose, you realize it's never enough. You're still chasing more. Somebody declares a network of 800 million and they're still chasing money. So the lesson is that money will never be enough. And purpose will always come first.
Thank you, Audrey. Emma, I hope that has attended to your question. Purpose will always come first. Money will follow if you do the right thing. Thank you so much. As we come to the end of our conversation today, I would like each of you co-authors to give us a parting shot, an inspiring parting shot, even as we know how we can connect with you. For those who may want your service, can we find you? Are you willing to give any numbers we can call you through? Just let us know how we can get in touch with you. And will allow us to check it at our convenience.
All right. I'd
Do
like
we want to go together? Okay, you're unmuted. Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who has joined for this webinar, and also to the amazing authors for sharing their story together with the Zion Publisher team. Dottie, thank you for organizing this whole meetup. It has been very insightful and enjoyable. I'd like just to encourage every person that has attended this to join us in the launch, get the books, invite your friends, invite your family. All I can say, just as they've said, it will be very inspiring. You'll get motivated, you'll get clarity on your purpose. And also, you'll also get to meet and interact with everyone. It will be just a fun day, as much as, yes, we'll have the other serious sector. So that's all from my end. And if anyone wants to connect with me, I'm on nearly all socials as Diana MG Achieng or as Road to Mentorship. That's the name of my mentorship program. So goodbye.
I hope we got her contacts. She's available on all socials as Diana MG Achieng. Okay, Marion, you can go next.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I really want to appreciate you, Dottie and Zion Pal, for this opportunity. You are a godsend, so that you have jump-started us into something that I never thought I would be doing this year, authoring a book and with other amazing women. I think my parting shot is to everyone, come and join us on the 13th. As Diana said, there will be a lot to learn, a lot of networking. Your network is your network. The one way that you can keep your mind sharp and alert is by reading books and also attending events where you are sharpened. The Bible says that iron sharpens iron. So come and be sharpened, come sharpen us, let's sharpen one another on the 13th. We look forward to seeing you on the lounge. We look forward to you buying the book and tell a friend to tell a friend. Invite others as well. And thank you so, so much. You can reach me just by my names, Marion Kago. I'm not very innovative, but all the areas that you want to see me, it's Marion Kago from LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you.
Thank you, Marion. I hope you've heard how you can get in touch with her. Linet looks like she's very ready to go next.
Yeah, I would like to say thank you so much for this opportunity. You know, I used to say I'm going to write a book. You see, you go through challenges and then you say, one time I'm going to write a book. But this opportunity came sooner. Thank you so much, Dottie and the team. And also to my co-authors, I've learned a lot today from you guys. And for this platform, for everybody who has joined us, thank you so much. We really appreciate and we would love you to join us on the 13th. Come and learn. Learning never stops. Come learn and network. Yeah. And invite your friends too. Would love to see all of you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Linet. We will definitely be there on the day. And
And my socials are.
Audrey.
Yes. Sorry, I forgot to say my.
Please go ahead.
I'm Linet Wanjiku Kinyo on all socials.
She is Linet Wanjiku Kinywa on all her socials. That is how you get to connect with her.
Yeah.
And
Thank
to
you,
Audrey.
Thank you. I've been listening to the other ladies say on all my socials. And I'm the most boring of them all because I don't know any other social I have other than LinkedIn. I am on X, but I will need to check what that username is. So on LinkedIn, you can find me with Audrey Kemuma. That's my name. My X handle is Audrey_Kemuma. Again, just my two names with an underscore. And my email happens to be on my book. Those who will buy the book will be lucky enough to know my email. My parting shot for this, I think it's been an inspiring evening, if I may call it evening. It's evening, not afternoon. I feel like I already know Diana, I already know Marion, I already know Linet. And so when I meet them personally, I feel like we've already done the ice breaking, and I'm glad I already have friends in this circle even before we get started. And I'm looking forward to next Friday. Like I said, excited for the moment.
Thank you, Audrey. The excitement is there. It is evident.
Yeah.
We can't hide it, and we want to keep it on until the 13th, and go and do,
Yeah, and I would like to hear more about the mentorship program and the ICT from the IT from Linet and where she got the courage for IT. So we will do that on the 13th.
Yes. So I would also want to give a very special thank you to you, co-authors of the book, How We Rise and Thrive. Thank you for sharing your stories. This session has been inspirational, it has been informative, it has been insightful, and that makes it transformative. Thank you so much for the authenticity of your stories. We could feel you sharing them from your heart, and that is very much appreciated. To our audience or our listeners, having you here has been the best thing that we could have this afternoon. You made this possible, for you give us the audience to speak for. We look forward to having you, if you're able to make it, to the launch on the 13th, and we will be very glad that you came. Like it has been promised by these authors, there's going to be some good experience on the day. Get hold of that registration link, key in your details there. There are further guidance on how to go about it, and we look forward to seeing you on the launch day. I can't forget to say thank you to the Zion Pearl team, the people behind everything happening here. Thank you so much, Emma. Thank you, Janet, for being part of this team and just making sure that everything works like it should. My name is Dottie Achieng, and it has been my pleasure and my very honorable opportunity to moderate this conversation. And I wasn't just moderating, I was also in as a learner. And I can for sure tell you that my life is not the same. I have been informed, and what I expect is great transformation. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. With that, we can bring down the curtains of this meeting, and I do wish everyone a very lovely evening. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Team Zion Pearl. Much appreciated.
Good evening to everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you and good evening.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.